Welcome back, brothers and sisters, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Conversation Between Soul Brothers, where we talk about the issues facing our community and beyond. I'm your grateful soul brother, Sherrod Corner, and I'm joined by my soul brothers, Will B and Bo. What it do, what it do, what it do.
What it do? What it do?
Happening, people? What's happening?
What's happening
Man,
with you?
nothing there, man. Hopefully Phil will join us next week, man. And what's our topic, Bo? I mean, you got a topic for us.
Yeah, my topic today, I feel, the parenting styles that differ between mothers and fathers.
Hmm.
Okay.
I feel as though sometimes the father's approach to parenting is a little bit more beneficial than the mother's, or
Okay.
beneficial for the future than the mother. The mother can nurture and give some guidance, but I believe that the masculine or the father's perspective on life is going to give some hard truths and prepare you for those obstacles. I think a father's approach is more about preparation, and preparing you for ups and downs and giving you the fortitude to overcome those challenges. Sometimes a mother can, I believe a mother can do that as well, but it's going to be from a nurturing, or it can be very um, harsh or without guidance and direction, you know. So
Okay.
sometimes, emotional from a woman.
Hmm. Hmm.
Father sometimes going to give you, hey, this is how you correct that, you know.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I know the difference in just my perspective when my daughter and my son. My son, proud of him. Established, single, 35, no kids, got himself together. My daughter, 40, 3 kids, bad decision because I wasn't. I feel as though I wasn't in the household with her, even though I tried to get custody. But the lack of direction that she was out there searching, I feel as though she was searching for some sort of
Hmm.
male figure, or she didn't know what to look for in a male when it
Okay.
came to dating and choosing wisely.
Hmm.
My son did. Son did great, you know. And I just think sometimes men will prepare you, fathers will prepare you. Sometimes mothers will nurture you. You know.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
can piggyback off of that, man, because with me growing up in a two family home, and I was a two family parent, I can attest that women raise different than men because as I raised my two children, which are 2 years apart, my wife was more like you said, a nurturer, but sometimes she was a hindrance. She didn't allow them to grow, to go out and do things. So like my children had a cousin that stayed a couple blocks, so maybe about a mile or two away. My wife wouldn't allow them to go over, like ride their bikes over there to hang out. Me, I'm going go be free and enjoy because they have to experience some things out in life. Whereas she was trying to hold time. No, they're my babies. No, everything can
Mm.
happen. It's a bad world out there. I'm like, well, they got to experience some type of something going on in life to understand what they need to do in case it happens. Because if they
Yeah.
never
Right.
come across anything, how would they know how to adjust? You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
go over to your
Mm-hmm.
cousin's house. When you get there, call me. Let me know you made it there. Have fun. When it's time for you to come home, call me so I can be looking for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes the
Right.
women don't want to let go, man. It's like you gotta let them grow. You gotta let them expand and explore. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
some women don't want to do
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
that's where dads come in. That we're like you said, we're logical. They're more emotional and sometimes you just gotta let them be.
Yeah.
So that was the difference that I noticed in my relationship with my wife and my children. My children did well. I'm not a grandfather. My daughter's 31. My son is 29. Neither one are married at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My daughter says she probably won't get married until she
Mm-hmm.
finds the right somebody. But I spoke with her and talked to her and gave her the game from a man's perspective. This is what men gonna be looking after. This is
Yeah.
what men gonna say. They gonna try to do everything to get where to get what they want. So let me give you some game. So she understood what I was telling her. So when guys came up with that bullshit, she was like, my old man already told me about some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not coming to me the right way, I seen my dad and how he treated my mom. I'm looking for that type of man. I'm looking for somebody
Yeah.
that's gonna be real and come to me direct. And my son was the same way. He picked and choose who he dealt with and what was going on. And he had those questions we talked, but he saw how I treated his mom. It taught him how to treat a lady. You know what I'm saying? Where sometimes if the man is not there, that dude or that young lady don't know the specifics because it's just that mom. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When it's a single dad, he can give you both variations for the most part. That's why most fathers in a single relationship, single parenting, can raise both of those boy and a girl in a different way, and they wind up turning out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Not saying taking anything away from the mother, because they do have their parts where they do well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, a father is going to be the one that's going to be stern, the disciplinary, and also the logical person, because I had a great relationship with my children. They knew I was playful, they knew I was silly, but they knew I meant business.
Mhm.
When I say you fuck up in school, well, you fuck up, I'm coming to fuck you up. And they understood that. They were, oh, yeah, I had to get down on my son in school before, and I whooped him for something I thought he was in trouble. They called me to tell me he was doing good in school. So he got that ass whooping for nothing. I felt so bad. He bring that up every so often too. I said, oh, I had
Yeah.
to go to the school. I jacked him up, man, right in the bathroom. And then the teacher like, oh, he was doing excellent. Since the last time you came by, he was done. I was like, damn, I felt like a butthole, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
maybe that's an ass whooping you needed for something down in the future. He started laughing, but we can play with it now since he's grown. But he understood dad was real about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It wasn't like, oh, snap. He ain't gonna follow through with what he said because I followed through. You understand what I'm saying? But that I think that's the difference of it. Women like to hold on, dads like to let them live a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, listen to this, bro. In this
Yeah.
article, it says moms and dads differ in their approach to parenting. So this is a survey the Pew Research Center took. Said mothers are far more likely than fathers to describe themselves as overprotective and to say they give in to their children too quickly. Among parents of children younger than 18, about half of mothers, 51%, say they are the type of parent who tends to be overprotective, compared with 38% of fathers. On the flip side, fathers are more likely than mothers to say they tend to give too much freedom,
Hmm.
24% versus 16. Similarly, mothers, 40%, are more likely than fathers, 27%, to say they give in too quickly, while fathers are more likely than mothers to say they stick to their guns too much, 36 to 24%. And where is this at? Mothers, 48%, are more likely than fathers, 40%, to say they are trying to raise their children in a very or somewhat different way compared with how they were raised. In turn,
Absolutely.
fathers are more likely than mothers to say they're raising their children very or somewhat similarly to how they were raised, 47 to 40%.
Yep.
And we can see it now. Let's broaden the horizons on this. When we look at the liberal movement, the feminism, and all that. And a lot of this stuff, man, is really coming to destroy the nucleus of the traditional family,
Household. Yep.
where men want to keep. See, when a lot of women online and these groups and feminist groups, they're saying that women are slaves as wives, right? Yeah, that's what I heard. They're called trad wives or
Oh
slaves.
yeah, I heard about that. That
See,
traditional wife. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I think men admit this more so than women. You know, we know that there are some bad dudes out there. And we admit that. And we don't condone it. And we condemn them. We say, fuck them, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
We don't make any excuses for them. Now, the whole thing is, I want to be, I try to raise my children like I was raised. Even
Hmm.
when I was younger, I thought, man, this sucks. I hate this. But as I got older, I realized I was prepared for out this world. I was
Yeah.
prepared for,
Yeah.
you know, being,
Absolutely.
the backstabbers. I was, those that always wanted something from you but won't give you anything. My parents, my pops, yo, he was about, hey, I need to make you a man because you got to realize he had to be a man at a young age. So he was like, man, I'm gonna teach you the game right now. My
Yeah,
mom,
yeah,
oh man, I can't take nothing from that old lady. She a tough old lady, man. She was, she
yeah.
was, she was, she followed what my father, the rules he laid down. She enforced them,
No
right?
doubt.
Oh, that's
She
what's up.
enforced those
Yeah,
rules.
that's what's up. Yeah, they was
Now
a team.
every now and again she'll be like, he being a little bit too hard. Go ahead and go outside for a minute, you know. But that was few and far between. Cause my pop's that type of dude that he'll just come home just on a whim, like let me see what's going on and shit.
Right.
But that's what I think. I think that's what we're missing nowadays, man. I think today the women have this liberal mindset, too much of a liberal mindset. Like, let your children say what they want to say to you. They need to express themselves. You can express themselves. You can express
Mm-mm.
yourself, but it's how you say it. You gonna say that
Right.
shit with respect,
Respect. Yeah.
you know. And I think that's what men bring more so to the game than women. Structure, discipline, you know, we're more like, yo, you gotta, shape up and fly right. Women are all, they're trying to find themselves. And we're seeing what's happening with the single mommy experiment. Now women are complaining about men aren't men anymore. Well, if the majority of men you complaining about are raised by single mothers. Let's look at the prison system. Over 70% of those in prison, man and woman, no
Single
father.
male. Yeah.
Dropout
Yeah.
rate, no fathers. Drug abuse, no fathers. Teen pregnancies, no fathers. So if we got all of these things as a common denominator is fatherlessness, it's time we change it.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, that's an oh man, great point. You
Great
hit all
point,
the
bro.
bulletin points on the head. Now you talked about this before, Rod. Hey, you're gonna be the resident expert on the parenting between men and women because that was an excellent breakdown.
Yeah, for
Because I
sure.
know you don't listen. I take nothing away from my mother. Like I said, she's a single mother, but I see the difference in the guys that I know. I see the difference in myself because even though I want it different, even with the lack of a present father, uh, you are hitting it absolutely correct. Men as fathers, we're gonna bring some accountability to those kids.
Mm-hmm.
They say the women might coddle the kid, baby him too
Yep.
much. No, we're not doing that. They fall down, you get a boo boo, leave him alone, he be all right, get up, boy. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Get up, you all right, come on. That type of stuff. And then from the girl side, the father is going to be there to show her what a man is supposed to do as far as protecting, caring for, giving her a masculine version of nurturing to where
Yes.
she'll be able to recognize it in a man, as a
Yes.
virtuous man that's good for her. And sometimes in that single household with just a woman, it is unbalanced. Definitely have to have some kind of masculine energy, masculine presence around to give some kind of structure as far as manhood and give
Right.
that balance, because I feel as though the lack of balance in a single household with a man and then a single household with a woman is rougher on the kids when it's a single household of a woman. Yeah, but so sometimes I think it's a better transition to the adulthood for the kids when it's a single father than a single mother. Not taking nothing away. It's kind of I don't want no women to feel as though that we, shooting them down like we better parents and all. But in certain situations, in certain environments, I feel as though that single father will give the kids some important tools that they would need for adulthood that the mother is not going to be able to give them to them. You know, I know it's a couple fathers out there that might be cool with their sons, but you ain't trying to be friends with our kids.
Nah, not at all.
And then sometimes them single mothers be trying to be their daughter's girl. Hey girl, chop it up with them, and it's a little relaxed in there. and it might lose a little bit of the respect aspect with it. But with the fathers, it's a difference. I just think it's a statistics, Rob, that single father households that raise their kids a lot of times
Equivalent to
seems,
two.
huh? Yeah,
Equivalent
the
to two
kids,
parents.
yeah, yeah,
I'm looking
you
at it right
already know.
now. I just pulled
Yeah,
it up.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
And that's
it's the structure, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Because I raised my children the way my old man raised me, and he gave me that accolades. He said, "Boy, you did your thing. You raised them just like I raised you, and they turned out wonderful. And we
Mhm.
always want them to be better than what we were.
Yeah,
So I think I did better than what my old man did, because he was a young dad, so he always wanted me to be a little bit better and do some things different, and I did just that. And then I'm hoping that my son does better than what I taught him. That's all we want,
hmm
and we want our daughter to be just the same. Hopefully they find somebody, as you said, is a virtuous type man, because they saw what dad was providing,
yeah,
what dad was doing. So hopefully they see what a man that mimics that, like, yo, he got these qualities like my old man.
yeah,
Appreciate.
yeah.
I can maybe fuck with them now. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Some people like that. That way, when they go through these different relationships, they run into that butthole and not really know what to do and things of that nature. So but I agree with you. Like you say, Bo, we tend to if the child get a boo boo or something. My thing with my children was, if you first don't succeed, get up and try it again, dust yourself off. So when that song came out by Aaliyah, I used to sing that to them. So they'll go out there and fall off that bike, and then they'll start singing it. At first you don't succeed, and they get back up and start again. But it's just something that was better. Mom be like, "Oh my God, my baby, come here, you got a scratch. Oh, let me
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
pump your brakes." If she didn't
yeah,
cry, if they didn't cry and come running to you,
yeah.
let them be. When they come in the
Yeah.
house, they're gonna say, "I fell out there. I hurt myself. Can you take a look at it for me now?" Oh, baby,
hmm
no problem. That's the difference between mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Here goes a stat right here for you, Bo. There are approximately 3.4 to 7.4 million single father households in the United States, according to recent data, representing about 16% to 24% of all single parent families. While single mothers still constitute the majority, the number of single fathers has grown significantly, increasing by 60% over the last decade and up sharply from roughly 300,000 in 1960. Now, this one right here, Rise of a Single Fathers, it shows from 1960, 300,000, then 2013, I believe. Yeah, about 8%. So from 2013 to 26, we get another, almost 8% or whatever. So
hmm
it's rising, and I think the courts are realizing, man, that, you know, fathers are just as important as mothers. I'm not going to say we're more important. I'm not going to say none of that, because I believe our children need both parents to be balanced in order to be balanced, productive human beings. But when we got to look at it, hey, let's look at let's take the black community and look at how it's fallen. It's bad, bro. It's
Yeah.
bad. When a young
Yeah.
lady says, "Hey, we run the black community," nah, hold on, no, you don't. I said, I'm gonna put it to you this way: as strong as my mother was, I know for a fact that if my father had never been in the household, she couldn't do nothing with us.
No, not at
She couldn't do
all,
nothing
bro.
with us. Even when my mom and dad got divorced, what kept us straight in line was the fact that, I'm not saying that we were perfect. I ain't nowhere near perfect.
hmm
But the point was, I got two brothers. So if I ever thought I was gonna jump in my mom's face, I got two brothers that's gonna say, "Nah, bro, you better calm that shit down."
No
And it's
doubt.
vice versa. If my younger brother jump up like, "Nah, bro, you know how this
Yeah.
go."
Yeah.
Pops told us that woman is to be protected at all times from
All
any and
time.
everybody, including himself. So my mom, she did what she could. She understood she was limited, because at some point your mom can't handle you physically. You know, we make up all this super black woman mythological frying pan wielding ass beating mamas and grannies. That's not the truth. The truth is, when I had my first fight with an adult man, I knew right there my mom couldn't handle me. But guess what? That respect I got from my old
Come
bird.
on. There you
That's
go.
that's what
Yeah.
my mom, man. She done said some outlandish shit to me, man. But she got my respect, my
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
man, whatever she wanted and I can get for her, you gonna get it. And if you cuss me
Uh,
out a little bit too much, I'm going home.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly it,
that's
boy.
it.
It's the only one that can get away with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just, boy, old brat. You know what I'm saying? You know, I said the parents get older, we become the parents of our
Yep.
parents. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got my mother is a spoiled brat. You know, I got a little spoiled princess right now, but she's 75 years old. You know what I'm
See,
saying? Hey, no, I take it.
Yeah. For
You
sure.
know,
We
yeah,
do.
but you're right. You're absolutely right. Love her to death. But boy, I only want to get up under my skin,
oh
poke them
man,
triggers.
she the only one that could talk to me that way, and
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it,
yeah,
and I just
yeah,
smile.
yeah,
Just smile. Just, okay, ma. That's my favorite.
yeah,
Okay, ma.
yeah,
I'm
It's
gonna
like,
go on that note. I'll holler at you a little later.
yeah, yeah.
and you
It's a
know,
trip.
my brothers and I, we had this weird relationship. You know, when people saw how we play with my mom, like my mom would get to talking shit. She'd get to be like, Mom, don't get put in the old folks' home now. And she get to talking shit. Man, me and my brothers then grabbed her ass, snatched her up, took her outside. Like, what you gonna do? It's like, hey man, we love our
Yeah,
moms. We love
yeah,
them.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I wouldn't replace my mom for nothing in the world. To be
yeah.
totally
That's
honest
right.
with you, hey man, I
Yeah,
wouldn't replace my old dude for nothing in the world. I
No
just
doubt.
know that there are a lot of women with sons they can't fucking control.
Oh yeah.
Hell, they can't
Yeah.
even control their daughters.
yeah,
Right.
So,
yeah,
And
you know, I just want us to one day in the black community just to be honest. Yo, we need each other. Stop
yeah.
saying you can do it by yourself.
exactly.
Absolutely.
I say, look at the other communities. Let's learn from that, man.
Oh man,
Everywhere you go, Chinatown, Arabic town, you name it, Korean town, our town is nothing like theirs. You know,
no,
Mexican town, our town is nothing like theirs. Nothing at all. We need to
But
come
we
together
used to
and do
be.
better.
We
yeah,
Used
we
to
used
be,
to
used
be.
to be.
Yeah,
used to be, and
Yeah.
that's what we need to
Used
get
to
back
be
to, man.
the
But
example.
that's what we're starting right now with this conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With what we're doing, what
Yeah.
we're building upon. We're building a community. Hopefully, we can get more people involved where we can know, you got
Yeah.
to start somewhere. And why
Yeah.
not
Get
start
back to
with
that
us?
community.
You
Yeah.
know,
Get
start with a
back to that
yeah,
conversation.
community.
yeah.
Yeah.
It starts with a
Yeah.
conversation, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
you
awesome.
know the funny thing is, like you said, we all did our dirt. We weren't perfect, but what brought me back to the light was just simply I had structure. I was just trying to be rebellious, you know. At one point, I just thought my pops, man, I during my mom and pops beef with one another, I chose a side. Instead of staying out of it like a child should, I chose a side. And I thought I
Mm.
was doing the best because he always told me, "Hey man, your mom needs to be protected." Well, you yelling at her, bro. That we ain't gonna have that. And my old dude, like, like serious business. All right. Now, when we fast forward, and it's like I said, I told y'all once before, I went 20 years without speaking to him. Hating him and wishing all this bad shit on him and shit. And then when I finally, my aunt passed, my father and his people came down, and my relatives came down this way for the funeral. We went to go holler at him, man. And it's like, man, it felt good. It felt good again to be in his presence. It felt good to be able to look that man in the eye and say, man, I apologize. It's my fault. You didn't leave us. We left you.
Yeah.
And everybody keep thinking that, oh man, men lead the women. Now, guess what? Sometimes we children, we turn our backs on our father. We give our,
Yeah.
what they say, we give them our ass to kiss. You know,
Mhm.
yo, fuck you, dad, you ain't shit. You know,
Yeah,
we think we're
yeah.
doing something big by disrespecting him and propping up moms when we should have just stayed the hell up out of it, you know, and let them two adults handle their situation.
Mhm. And a lot of times we get older and we see it's two sides to the story.
Hell, we
Yes,
go
sir.
through it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I when I got the story from my father's side of the family, man, and like I said, with my uncle, you know, because I was like you, right, man, F that. I don't need no daddy, you know, fuck that cat, you know,
Mm.
all them years. And I met him, and it's a cool, laid back, just, you know, he's a good dude, you know, good, wholesome. He's a square, but you know, corn. But you know, I ain't mad at him. You know, my mom was probably too much for him. You know, to tell the truth. But I understand, like, dang, okay, you know, resentful. But and to hear my uncle tell me how my mother treated him, then to hear my grandmother tell me how my mother treated him. Don't come over here. This ain't your son. You don't have no son. Don't come. This is,
Yeah.
and he's a wholesome, good guy. You know, his feelings were probably hurt. You know, broke heartbreak probably, and I'm
Yep.
the oldest. You know, so to see the difference and understand that as we get older and see that mama ain't always right, you
Mhm.
know, and it's two sides to every story, you know. So
Three
don't
sides.
hold judgment. Three sides. Yeah, there you go.
For sure.
You know, his side, her side, and the truth.
And the truth. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
hoping that my children come to the light and understand that because even though I have a relationship with them since the divorce, it's not like it was, and I
yeah,
feel that, as a dad,
yeah,
nobody's asked me my side of the story. Everybody just took mom's side, like
You know why?
solid.
She was more
Okay?
emotional about it, bro.
Yeah, I already know, so sometimes I be feeling a certain way, and this conversation sort of hitting home a little bit, but they know that I love them. You know what I'm saying? But like I
yeah.
always tell them, there's two sides to it. Like you said, it's three sides. But maybe they'll come around. They still reach out from time to time. But hopefully, we can sit down and have a conversation. Then they can see where dad came from. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
And that's
they gonna come around. I'm gonna tell you why they're gonna come around is because you were an integral part of their life growing up. Right
yeah,
now, they're they're victims in the whole thing. You're a victim,
yeah,
your wife a victim, and they are too. It's a
yeah.
because they broke up the nucleus of what they knew.
Too,
It's like,
yeah,
damn,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
family is fractured. Yeah,
yeah,
but we still family though. We're just
yeah,
not all
for sure.
together,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
just not together
And
anymore.
and it's like you're hurt right now, and I know you hurt, bro, because you know to have my kids act certain ways towards me, and it's like, nah, I ain't. You know, some of the shit I hear now today, they're older now. You know, they 20s, and you know, Dad, you know, I remember you did such and such. I didn't do that. Please tell me when I did that.
Right.
Please, you know, enlighten me. Your kids are older. They're more mature than
Then I
mine
get
were
one.
at the time of my
Yeah.
divorce. So your children gonna come back to you. They just got to get over their feelings, bro.
yeah,
Just be
yeah,
patient and keep
yeah.
your arms out for them to come and receive them, and y'all gonna kick it again. But no, it ain't gonna never
Understood.
be the same because you and your wife are not together. But y'all can
Understood.
make your own hookup. It's coming,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
it's
Trust me,
coming. I know. I know.
it's coming.
For sure. And thank you, brothers, for just being that rock behind me, man, and giving me that support because it's well needed, and I love it, and I appreciate you.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure, for sure.
yeah,
That was great.
yeah.
Hey, that was great.
For sure, for
All right.
sure.
Hey, not bashing no mothers, but just
No,
saying, you know, we got some parenting skills too as men. You
Yeah, for
know.
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And men and the majority of men want to be parents. The
Yeah.
majority, the more when men, what women have to understand is when I turn my back and walk away from you, I'm not turning my back on my children. I don't like you anymore. I don't want you anymore. We don't work anymore. Me and my kids are cool. I love them. They're gonna be my children forever. You know, right? They keep saying, you know, I keep hearing this, well, when you hurt me, you hurt the children. No, I don't. No, I
No,
don't. Stop saying that. Y'all are individuals. You
individuals.
know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cause that was
You
thrown
know,
up in my face a lot.
huh?
That was thrown in my face a lot. You know, when you hurt me, you hurt the kids. You know, you gotta
No,
do better. The
no.
kids, they don't like you right now because of what you did. I'm like, damn. Let's
They
talk
don't like
about
you
it.
right now because of what was said to them.
Well, there you go.
That's
Exactly.
it.
Let's
You know,
let's let's
and
let's
yeah, they're
keep it
gonna be
real.
hurt because they picture you being this one way. They picture you being dad with mom forever. But guess
Yeah.
what? Y'all grown. These are grown situations that you may face one day. It all happens. I mean, I thought my mom and dad was gonna be together forever, bro.
Hmm.
But guess what? I watched my aunts and uncle get divorced. I seen divorce, and it was like my mom and dad, and it was only one more couple that was together, and it was like everybody else was breaking up. Like, yeah, we got a strong family, knowing it was just a bunch of shit behind the scenes we didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
and I would tell any young man that's out here listening now, bro, go talk to your father, man. Get his side of the story instead of
Yeah.
instead of hating him and saying you don't want to see him, you don't need him, and this and that and the other. Man, go talk to him. Find out his side of the story.
Yeah. Have a conversation for sure.
Yeah,
Cause that's
just
what
talk
happened
to
to
him.
me and my old man. I didn't like him for a lot of time. Then we sat down and had a grown man conversation when I hit about 22. I came back
Yeah,
from the military. We sat down in the yard. We just kicked the willy bobos, man. And I found out a lot. You know,
Yeah.
I looked at him
Yeah.
different. You know, that's when I realized shit. By the time he was 30 years old, he had 9 motherfucking children. I was like, goddamn. Okay, here I am, 30, just got to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, you know? So he was still going through some things and learning himself in the
yeah.
process, never really learning himself, being a 16-year-old dad.
I'm
What do
about to
you
say,
know at
he was
16?
young.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
He was
saying? I,
young.
I get it. I had to step in his feet for a minute and
Yeah.
go, oh, okay, I get it now. So it was a good conversation. So I recommend anybody sit down and holler at your pops. You'll be surprised at what you get
Yeah.
from it. Because you'll get to see walk in his shoes for about 15, 20 minutes of that conversation. And then it will enlighten you, for
Bruh.
real.
You know what? I found out what marriage was, I f- and it felt like what I was going through in my marriage. It felt so similar to what I saw my old dude going through. It just seemed like, as a kid, you see bits and pieces of things, right?
Yeah,
And then
yep.
I started putting things together. That's when I literally told myself, I said, you know what? If I ever get a chance, I'm going to go ahead and apologize to him because what I'm going through in my marriage is something similar to what my pops was going through. I could see, my mom, she just going in. And I'm like, and he would just sit there and be like, you know what? I'm about to go. Like, okay. Bruh, I got married. Same thing. I'm about to go. And I was like, you know what? When I see that dude again, man, I gotta apologize. He tried to give me, he was trying to give pearls to swine. I
Mm.
was not ready for none of that knowledge he was throwing my way. I was a kid, you know, and not just in age. I was a kid in my way I was thinking.
Yeah.
And so, my advice to, especially you young men out there, I mean young men and young women, but young fellas, hey man, take your pride, put it to the side for a second. If you call yourself mature, you call yourself a man, go sit down with your father, look him eye to eye, and kick it to him. Look,
No
man,
doubt.
you hurt me. You wasn't here. Why? Why
Yeah.
did you go? And
There you
give him
go.
a chance to tell you why. Give him a chance to tell his side of the
His
story.
side of the story. Yeah.
And then you got to be man enough to say, okay, Pops, that's bullshit. Mom, that was bullshit. Mom was valid on this. Pops was valid on this. And then you take it and you put it together because then that's where you can come up with the truth. And you're going to see both of them was full of shit a lot of times.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
didn't mix. They were just toxic
Yeah.
together. But they're good
Yeah.
people. They just weren't good together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. That's an awesome breakdown.
Yeah. Awesome. For sure.
So,
So,
Will, hey man, you gonna take us out? Thank you. You raised your hand.
Hey, man. Hey, I just want to say, oh man, that light is bothering me. All right, that better. I just want to say thank you for tuning in to Conversations with the Soul Brothers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We
And
do this
share.
every Sunday, and don't forget to share. We're gonna come back in here on Sunday. And we're gonna chop it up with you one more again, and feel free to say hello. And if you got a topic, let us know, and we'll get that topic on there, and we'll talk about it, and include you with the name and where you're from and things of that nature. All right. So thank you again. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace. Take care.